All right, welcome back, everybody. COVID testing remains a huge concern right now, primarily because so many people have to wait long hours just to get one. Some people can't even book an appointment for days. Well, the White House is responding to this. And to talk more about that plan, I'm joined by Jacob Bogage. He's a Washington Post business reporter. Jacob, good morning.
Good to be with you.
Yeah, great to have you here. What are your sources saying, Jacob, about providing test kits to Americans here?
So President Biden in December, just before Christmas, announced that the federal government would purchase 500 million test kits to send out to Americans. And now we're learning more about how those are going to reach our front doors. And that would be through the U.S. Postal Service. These are going to get mailed out to folks who need them. So there'd be a website where people would be able to go and request test kits, and then the Postal Service would mail them out. We're probably about a week and a half away from that happening because the administration needs to take possession of these test kits.
Yeah.
Now we know a little bit more about how they're going to reach us.
So how will this work? Is it just like, will one household get a kit? Is it going to be based on how many people live in a household? I mean, you mentioned that you may have to sign up for it, so you might have to mark that number on the website. How is this working out in terms of logistics?
That's a great question, and those are details we don't have yet. I think this is really, there were two proposals here. One was, do we just mail test kits out to every household in the country? Everybody's going to get them. And the other was, do we ask people to sign up? And that way we have a better sense of who needs them, and we can concentrate our supplies in those areas. And the White House has opted for option B here, which is you're going to need to volunteer the information about how many of these you need. And I think that'll depend on the size of your household and how many folks need a test.
Right. So I think you mentioned a week and a half for maybe to get the ball rolling here in terms of the test kit. But when will the test kits perhaps be delivered? Do we know a timeline on that?
We don't have a timeline on that yet. Again, I mean, the Biden administration has been criticized for a number of weeks now about a test kit shortage, and we are starting to get drips and drabs of these details, but really not the full picture yet.
Yeah, and these are rapid tests, right, Jacob?
Yes, these are rapid tests,
okay.
Rapid at-home tests.
Okay. Back in 2020, I seem to recall, during the Trump administration, there was talk of using the Postal Service to deliver masks, but it was nixed because the perception from the administration at the time was that, it might cause panic. Why this change now to use the Postal Service again?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Brian. Back in the Trump administration, as early as April 2020, very, very early days, the Trump administration had 650 million cloth masks. Every household in the country was going to get 5 reusable cloth masks. And they nixed that plan, both because there was a concern it could cause panic, but also because the Trump White House did not have a very good relationship with the U.S. Postal Service, and they were fearful of lending more legitimacy to one of the country's foundational institutions, which is our mail. The Biden White House, President Biden, you can talk about him as a liberal or as a moderate or all of these things. I think the best descriptor for him would be an institutionalist and someone who supports and has an understanding of what the different institutions are in our federal government that make our society work. And he has embraced the U.S. Postal Service. And again, the U.S. Postal Service has such it is probably the arm of the federal government that has the furthest reach into every single community in the United States. That makes it really effective for responding to disasters or needing to reach out into every household and make sure folks have the resources they need.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, Jacob Bogage with the Washington Post. Thanks as always for joining us. We appreciate it.